Monday, how are yous? Start of auction week.
Yay, fun times.
Yeah, it's a bit of pressure this week actually. I don't know, we've a lot of work to still get through and a lot of stuff to do.
That's because we done a lot of drinking.
We did do a lot of drinking last week.
We did.
Yeah, we're bold people.
Yeah.
But one of them was just out of this world. Just absolutely out of this world. I still pinch myself. And part of the reason is here and that as well. We were drinking last week. We done Powers Court on Wednesday night with Willie Hearn in the Palace Bar. Launched his 20-year-old Fair Cullen.
In a ruby port.
In a ruby port. Oh, ruby port. We like that. And then on Thursday night, I was
transported to a different universe.
Absolutely, it's the only way to describe it. I mean, it literally was that. I mean, I was very lucky to get invited to a hugely prestigious event where we got to taste Silent Distillery #1. It's still I'm still pinching myself just to remind myself that it actually happened. So this month, I think is just it's it. I mean, it's the pinnacle of what we've done so far. I mean, it really is. So we've sold a #1 previously. We've never sold a #2. And then something else happened as well that really put us on our back foot. Midleton, I'll start with it. Midleton gave us bottle #1 of this year's vintage, the Midleton 2022 release. And that's bottle #1. And in the 39 years, or 38 years, or I can't count, 39 years of bottles, #1 has never been released to the wild. They've always been allocated to senior people within IDL Midleton. And I was just blown away. So that is a charity item for this month. It's going for the Capuchin Day Centre, who are their charity partners because of Bow Street, the proximity, and it's raising good money for it as well. But it's bottle #1, lads. I mean, it's never happened before. I mean, genuinely am speechless. But then you're standing it beside two absolute, I don't know, how do you describe it? I mean,
elegant ladies.
Definitely elegant ladies, or men. These days you have to be politically correct. You're not allowed to say one or the other. We'll start off with the first one, Bob. In a walnut bespoke handmade John Galvin cabinet. I mean, it is just literally the definition of quality. I mean, the mechanism slides closed. Round in the back, you've got the plate saying Midleton Very Rare, release #1, and it's from cask number 4434, and that's the 45-year-old one. That's what I was drinking on Thursday night. I say drinking because drinking's not the correct word. I mean, you don't drink 40-odd thousand pounds worth of whiskey. You just you just inhale it. You just waft it. It's just. I mean, Kevin O'Gorman was sitting beside me. Kevin was giving me tasting notes for the damn thing. I mean, I'm stupid. How did I get to be there? That's what I keep telling myself. But anyhow, there's just a lot of people on the video going, yeah, he is stupid. How did he get to be there? Beside that, we have the 46-year-old, which was the second release for the Midleton Very Rare Silent Distillery collection. So these are distillates from the old Midleton Distillery.
Yes.
Closed in 1976, I think it was the year that it closed, or 76 or 79, I can't remember. But I mean, the opportunity to taste these, to own these, is just a privilege. I mean, it really is. To even have them here to photograph with them is just something really, really special. They've got 5 releases coming. 2025 is the last year of it. There's going to be 5 of them in total. You know, I know a few people that are lucky enough to own some of these bottles. They just are. It's like owning the crown jewels of Irish whiskey. It really is, because, you know, in years to come, even from an investment point of view. Now, I mean, if you're lucky enough to be a guy who can open one of these for an event or with family, I mean,
do a bottle share.
Barry, do a bottle share. I wonder how much that would be. Barry Chandler from the Stories and Sips group in America, they opened one of them, #2, not that long ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, again, I think that the tickets were about $2,200 for the tickets. again, it's a ball of money. There's no denying that. But I mean, the opportunity to taste something like that not many people are going to do in their lives is just exceptional. It'd be like tasting a proper old legacy Macallan or Bowmore or any of the Kurosawas or something like that. So it's something special. 48 bottles only ever produced of number 1. Only 70 bottles ever produced of number 2. I mean, they are uber rare, uber collectible.
This is super cute.
That's super cute. I mean, we've done well previously
I'm
with.
afraid to touch it in case I break it.
It's magnetic. It's a wee bit weird to open, but that's it there. The pinnacle of Irish whiskey, and that's it there. Cask number 2, and that's cask release number 2, cask number 80523.
That's adorable,
Isn't it? And again, it's for the guy who perhaps owns a number 2 and it doesn't want to open the full bottle and can sample it and taste it. From a collector's point of view, how do you open that? I mean, it's part of the set and all that sort of stuff. It's phenomenal, but I mean, it is just the quality, even in something so small and bespoke as that. I mean, it's got little feet on it to rest on the thing. It's just the quality, the workmanship is fantastic. There's a bottom, Robert, if you get close there, you can actually see in the bottom there's a piece of oak, and they from the original vats from the Silent Distillery, from the vatting where the whiskey would have been vatted at the time. And again, something that I've noticed as well is I'm actually just going to put the two of them side by side. Again, I've been privileged that I've have the opportunity to do this with a number of them, and you can see little differences in, because they're all individual hand cut crystal, little differences in the size of them. There's just little subtle things. I mean, this one's slightly marginally taller, I mean millimeters. The necks on them, I mean, that's got the copper, that's got the silver, it's got the Midleton Very Rare emblem in it. It is just fantastic. And the new glassware and the new design for Midleton with the cleft in the top of it, you can see it carried through in the presentation of these as well. I mean, look, I could probably talk for an hour about them. I really just think there's so many subtle little things that you don't know. The difference in the colour of the liquid. I keep lifting these things and everybody gets nervous when I lift them. But I mean, it's not until you have them side by side. Number 1 is a peated single malt. Again, blessed that I was with Kevin on Thursday night drinking it. It was a third fill bourbon barrel, and its entire life had been in that third fill bourbon barrel. Whereas number 2 has gone through a few different barrels. So it was originally in a first fill, and then it was decanted into I think a third fill, and it was also in a port pipe, I think, as well at the end. There was whiskey consumed, so the recollection just might be pinched off.
Fanboy, weren't you?
Katie, I mean,
You only short up.
it's very hard. You're sort of trying to be sort of all, me business-like. No, me business-like is nearly a joke in itself. But me trying to be business-like and sitting beside Kevin and sort of not going, sort of like a big schoolgirl. Look, it's really...
Not knocking it, babe.
Yeah. And the look, again, one of the things that they've done, we were in Chapter 1 restaurant. It's a Michelin star restaurant with Michelin star food. I mean, it wasn't as good as your home cooking.
Big plates, small portions.
I could do it a bit of big plates, small portions. Not as obviously as good as your home cooking, darling.
Oh, you're such a liar.
Yeah, you're right, I am. But look, again, as I say.
Excuse me, who's the chef in this relationship?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well then shut up.
Don't worry about stuff like that. It's minor technicalities. In my former life, I was a chef. That's it. It is the first time ever in the world multiple things have happened. So it's the first time ever we've had bottle number 1 of the Midleton Very Rare Vintage released. I think that's just fantastic. Kevin was talking to me about that. He's 100% behind it, raising money for charity. And then the first time ever that bottle number, well, they're not bottles, but Silent Distillery number 1 and Silent Distillery number 2 is available. The same auction up for grabs. I mean, if you've got the pockets, lads, I personally think number 1 is going to be the first €100,000 bottle of Irish whiskey. I mean, it was sold at originally in 2020 for €35,000 retail. Mm-hmm. It's now I know a couple have changed plans privately. It's now 47 to 50,000, and that's in 2 years. And it's still, and I mean, I know from having conversations with Midleton, that it was never really marketed to the Asian market or to that sort of area of the world. There was so few of them that they didn't have the bottles to go to the areas. I mean, there was 13 I think released to Ireland, 20 something to America, and then you had the likes of the UK with Harrods, Whiskey Exchange, and then the Maison de Whiskey and all them. There's so few of them that it is just a rare opportunity to get them. And as I say, I do firmly 100% believe that these will be the pinnacle of Irish whiskey for people to have in a collection in a few years to come, because it's just, what are they like? I mean, they're just gorgeous. Yeah. You imagine having all 5 of them at some stage. Now, obviously you've got security guards standing outside, and we've the door closed here, and we've all the security protocols that we have in place here, but I mean...
You don't have that at home. You know what I mean? No, but like for somebody...
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that is the big thing.
You know, like if they have them in a bar or they have them somewhere like that. Like,
yeah. It would be a concern.
You'd be slightly
but
nervous.
I mean, I know people... I'm not going to talk about a certain individual from Proper 12, but people go there to photograph themselves with the belt that he has, the mock belt that he has.
That is true, yes.
What would people do to have a photograph standing close or in proximity to these things? The whiskey world, I mean, it's just phenomenal. Okay. It is really just phenomenal. So look, as I say, a couple of worlds first. Wanted to be the first video of the week. Kick it off, big style, Big Willie style.
No,
not that Big Willie style. Just Big. Sorry, okay. Look, lads. Silent Distillery number 1, Silent Distillery number 2, and bottle number 1 of Midleton Very Rare. I'm done.
Sure, where did you get it?
I think, is this, if I did Mike, I'd just go, poof, mic drop and just walk off. Yeah, that's, what else could you say?
Thank God you don't have one.
I can pick you up. No, I won't pick you up and drop you. Right.
The
rest of the week we have
all our usual
stuff.
Scotch,
yeah,
Irish.
Yeah, there's a few
Japanese,
things. There's a few nice things I'm going to talk
charities.
About. And charities as well. That is it.
Yes.
We will talk to you tomorrow. Is that a long old video, Rob? Was that a long old? Was I waffling a bit? I could still be talking forever. I mean, come on, look at them. Bye. They're just gorgeous. Okay, bye.